boxing skills are sublime. No doubt he's pound for pound one of the best on the planet Earth. Crawford is the real deal.
Terence Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not gonna switch. There's nothing that's gonna change what I feel.
Some analysts, including well-known sports commentators, have pointed out a critical weakness that could spell trouble for Canelo if he were to face Terence Crawford. They suggest that Canelo might not be as untouchable as many fans think. On the other hand, Crawford is often regarded as the best of his generation, with sharp technical skills and smooth movement inside the ring. That combination, they argue, poses serious challenges for Canelo and could result in him being clearly outperformed if the matchup ever takes place.
Him back in the ring with Terence Crawford, not too soon. Maybe you take a year off and then come back and work your way to the 154, 160 division, and Terence Crawford be there and y'all want to meet again. That's cool. That's cool. But you don't need to be going back in the ring with him this December. I know that much.
Sports commentator Stephen A. Smith has suggested that Canelo tends to depend too much on his punching power, assuming that sheer strength will be enough to win fights. He believes that strategy won't hold up against Terence Crawford, who is known for his technical mastery, quick movement, and precise execution. In Smith's view, defeating a fighter like Crawford requires far more than just heavy shots, and Canelo's predictable focus on power could leave him vulnerable to Crawford's sharper ring IQ and superior skill set.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes, love
Who
boxing.
gonna win the fight, man? That's coming up, the biggest fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo is, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud,
Right.
it's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, strong fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always
prepared.
He's always ready.
gotta give
He's
him that.
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter, though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster.
Max Kellerman breaks down the potential Canelo versus Crawford clash by highlighting the difference between pure skill and physical strength. He notes that Crawford's jab has become one of the most effective tools in boxing today, allowing him to control range and dictate the rhythm of a fight. On the other hand, Canelo's jab, which was once a reliable weapon, has slipped in effectiveness, forcing him to lean more on power shots and counters. According to Kellerman, Crawford's sharp timing, accuracy, and ring IQ could cancel out Canelo's size advantage, showing that adaptability and tactical brilliance can often outshine brute force.
Crawford. Best defense. Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Timothy Bradley Jr. makes a striking comparison between the criticism Terence Crawford faces today and the doubts once directed at Muhammad Ali. He recalls how many thought Ali could never handle George Foreman's size and power, yet Ali silenced the skeptics with strategy, intelligence, and resilience. Bradley believes a similar storyline is unfolding with Crawford, as some claim he can't defeat Canelo Alvarez due to the size difference. But in Bradley's eyes, true greatness isn't defined by physical dimensions. It's about preparation, skill, and determination. He emphasizes that Crawford has spent an entire year training specifically with Canelo in mind, showing the same kind of dedication Ali displayed when he defied the odds.
They said Ali couldn't beat George Foreman. Yup. They said that Jack Dempsey couldn't beat Jess Willard. Yeah, 6'6", Jess Willard, 250 plus pounds. Little old Jack Dempsey knocked him out. Yeah, they saying Terence Crawford can't beat no Canelo Alvarez. I beg to differ. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez, man. I'm telling y'all right now. He gonna smash Canelo Alvarez. It's not gonna be a fair fight. I promise you that. It's not gonna be a fair fight. Because the minute he get acclimated to that punching power, it's gonna be over for Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, that wide swinging left hook, them big looping right hand. Oh, he can straighten that right hand. You don't think they're gonna be ready for that? Crawford and his team are the best in the business. Yeah, best in the business. Crawford has trained for this for an entire year. 1 year for one man. Thinking about him every day when he's out there grinding, watching video, studying film. Yeah, everybody talking about the weight. The weight, he too heavy. It was weight classes for a reason, and all of this crap, man. You think greatness is just built on just being comfortable? Greatness is built on being uncomfortable. Yeah, before we even landed on the moon, it was an idea, right? It was an idea. And then they brought it to life, and we landed on the moon. I know there's some conspiracy theories out there saying that we didn't land on the moon, but you know what the hell I'm talking about. You get it? Yeah, we talk about size. Like size is everything. What about skill? What about mentality?
Boxing insider Bernie Day pushes back hard against the notion that Terence Crawford is too small for this matchup. He argues that Crawford's build and physical presence have been underestimated for years, and his success in higher weight divisions already proves he can handle bigger opponents. Bernie insists Crawford isn't just a smaller fighter jumping up recklessly. He's calculated, disciplined, and knows how to deal with size disadvantages. In his view, the key factor won't be raw size, but the ability to think, adjust, and outsmart inside the ring. He adds that Crawford and his camp pride themselves on being more strategic than Canelo's team, and that level of preparation could be what tips the fight in Crawford's favor.
Crawford, you've seen him in the gym, but have you seen the best Crawford under the lights, you think?
When they say the best Crawford, I don't know. I like all Crawfords, how you do. You know, that's what makes him a dynamic champion. You know what I'm saying? The best Crawford is what it takes to win. You know what I mean? Now, some fights are more interested than others. As far as, like I say, the fight with Klimov was a kind of a slow fight. You know, and maybe the Madrimov was a slow fight. Benavidez was kind of a slow fight until he knocked him out. But he was doing a lot of great things in there, so... Buzz fights, they're always exciting. You never know what's going to happen in those fights. So the best Crawford he's always at his best.
PHX, Patriot, thank you for the $2. Get the likes of BMB, best in the biz. Something when Bud walked Canelo down. No way he's too small. Fire. Let's go, Crawford.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that. A lot of people are saying that they don't think that the walking down situation will happen because of the wrestling background, the grapplings, the tactics, you know, the balance and stuff like that. Stuff that Bud knows how to do because of his, you know, wrestling background. What would you say?
Man, I don't know nothing about no wrestling background. I mean, he did wrestle for, but he was not no national champion wrestler. He was not no real high school wrestler where he was wrestling all his years in high school. He wrestled. The man is just a freak of nature. He's an athlete. You understand? That's what it is. So his specialty is boxing. Okay, now he's strong as an ox. That's where his shit coming from. So they're not wrestling. It's not gonna be no fucking wrestling. You feel me? He doing strength and conditioning training. He's strong as an ox, like we already know that. His hands like baseball mitts.
Canelo Alvarez has approached this potential showdown with noticeable humility, openly acknowledging Terence Crawford as a serious threat despite being the naturally smaller man. He has explained that at the elite level of boxing, weight alone is no longer the deciding factor. What matters most is how well fighters adjust and compete across divisions. By giving Crawford that level of respect, Canelo makes it clear he isn't taking this fight lightly. He's committed to preparing with full focus, understanding that discipline, skill, and strategy will be just as crucial as power. This mindset shows his professionalism, and it suggests that fans may see both men operating at their absolute best when they meet in the ring.
Me, because Terence is a smaller guy, and why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
No, if you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why it made me change. But you know, I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is a very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that. I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything. So I see everything. And
Shakur Stevenson has voiced complete confidence in Terence Crawford's ability to defeat Canelo Alvarez. Drawing from his own experiences inside training camps, Stevenson explains that Crawford has been sparring with fighters equal to, or even bigger than, Canelo, and has been handling them impressively. He points out that while Canelo's chin has long been one of his most respected strengths, it won't be enough if Crawford continues landing sharp, precise shots. At this level, Stevenson stresses, it's not only about being able to take punches, but about avoiding them altogether. With Crawford's pinpoint accuracy, every clean strike carries impact, and Stevenson believes that combination of timing, precision, and ring craft gives Crawford the tools to overcome both Canelo's size and durability.
Honestly, like, as of right now, I think Bud to beat Canelo. It's not gonna switch. There's nothing that's gonna change what I feel.
You've been feeling like that since day one. I think, but now nobody never thought about that fight like that, because when you were saying nobody was thinking about that fight because not even Bud Crawford.
Yeah, I was crazy.
I still think it's crazy though. For me, I still think it's crazy. But like you said, I'm not in the gym. I'm not in the gym.
You have to see him, man. The people he spars, everybody that Bud Crawford spars, is the same size as Canelo. Like all these guys that he's sparring is bigger guys. He don't even he do spar with people his size sometimes, and sometimes he get in there with me. That's strictly for skill. That's strictly to keep his skills, his hand speed, the IQ level up. But the people that Bud Crawford spars is big ass dudes, and I'm watching what he can do in the ring and sparring. It's nothing that's gonna change come fight night. And I hear y'all say that the 16s and the 8s is different. I agree, but y'all gotta realize Bud got on 8s too.
And the chin also. Canelo Alvarez got them chins, man.
Bud got on 8 ounces too. And you can have all the chin in the world. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you is. If you get punched by the right motherfucker, you gonna feel that shit.
But that's the thing. He got punched by the right motherfuckers, the Triple G and Kovalev.
Okay, and you don't know if Bud gonna crack him with a cleaner shot.
Veteran commentator Jim Lampley takes a more cautious view, raising the possibility that Terence Crawford may simply be giving up too much in terms of size against Canelo Alvarez. While Lampley fully acknowledges Crawford's skill and intelligence in the ring, he believes that at the highest level, natural size and physical strength can be decisive. He points to Canelo's track record of battling bigger opponents and his well-tested durability as factors that could make the weight gap especially difficult for Crawford to overcome. In Lampley's eyes, this matchup represents an uphill climb. No matter how sharp Crawford's technique may be, the physical challenge is real. His perspective brings balance to the discussion, reminding fans that stepping up against a naturally larger champion carries genuine risks.
The conversations, I'm sure, Jim, will be hearing them abound. What do you think about the fight now that you just witnessed Canelo Alvarez again in the masterclass performance?
I love Terence Crawford, and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting my dream off, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough. And not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. I might have thought a few months ago that I would give Crawford a logical chance to win the fight. He is the most skilled pound-for-pound fighter in the world, but I just don't think he's big enough and strong enough to take on Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds. And so far, Crawford is 154-pound fighter who's only been to 154 pounds once and didn't get a knockout. So, I just don't see it at this moment. I think there is a very obvious assignment out there for Canelo Alvarez, and it isn't Terence Crawford at this moment.
Terence Crawford's choice to move up in weight and take on Canelo Alvarez highlights just how ambitious he truly is. Very few fighters are willing to gamble their legacy by stepping into the ring with someone naturally bigger. But Crawford has never shied away from risk. His past success in higher weight classes, especially at 154 pounds, proved that he could adapt and still dominate against larger opponents. Of course, the jump to 168 brings an even greater challenge. But Crawford's mix of timing, footwork, and pinpoint accuracy makes it clear he won't simply be overpowered by size. His willingness to even talk about scoring a knockout against Canelo reflects the belief that skill, strategy, and ring IQ can level the playing field against raw physical advantages.
As a southpaw, but basically he can fight in both stances. Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Alvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Alvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweight. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer, and as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys.
Edgar Berlanga has applauded Terence Crawford's bravery while also offering some words of caution. He advises Crawford to stay true to the style that has defined his success, warning that trying to adjust his game just to match Canelo's size could backfire. Berlanga believes Crawford's real strengths lie in his timing, accuracy, and calmness under pressure, qualities that shouldn't be abandoned. He also notes that moving up 2 weight divisions actually balances the matchup more than some might think, making the fight more competitive than many assume. For Bolonga, the outcome almost matters less than the willingness to take on such a dangerous challenge. Simply stepping into the ring with Canelo, he says, already proves Crawford's greatness and his hunger to test himself at the highest level.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a two-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know, it's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. You know, that could be a difference in the fight. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a foot of power. I'm a foot of that size difference. You know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
That wraps up today's breakdown. What are your thoughts on this matchup? Drop your opinions in the comments. We'd love to hear them. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the latest updates. Until next time.